Hello, and thank you for joining us on a brand new episode of the Untold, the show where we have brilliant people from all kinds of fields. But first, I'm your host, Abdullah Hindiani.
And I'm Nujain Al-Athari, and today we're going to be joined by Maryam Jamal Gouda, who's a crochet artist and community organizer. And I'm looking forward to talk to her about how she left her job as a teacher, actually, to explore these other options.
Yeah, honestly, whenever we have guests on the Untold who have left a secure place, I would say, a secure job to pursue something out of passion, I'm always have a lot of curiosity. I always have a lot of intrigue. I always have the utmost, respect for someone who choose to pursue something they love. I'm really curious about that.
Same, because it's not easy to leave a place of stability and go into the unknown. And that's exactly what she did. And she's now a crochet artist. She has a crochet business. And she also hosts community reading events.
Yeah.
And my sister-in-law actually does crochet, and I love reading.
There you go.
So I'm very excited to talk to her about these things.
Well, you're excited. Hopefully, the audience are excited. We are going to take a break so we come back and be joined with her. Well, hello and welcome to a brand new episode of The Untold. But first, welcome Maryam Jamal Gouda on The Untold as our guest.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It's wonderful to have you. So I want to ask you, you've started doing crochet and art, but you were first a former teacher, right?
I was.
So what made you change minds about being a teacher and lead to this other direction in life?
Oh, that's a good question. Believe me, trust me when I say the first day when I started working, there was like an inner voice inside me telling me, no, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. So I knew it. I knew it deep inside, but I thought that this is how life goes and this is how life works. If I'm not a teacher, who am I? And I worked for 3 years, and fun fact, I resigned 3 times.
Oh, no
Yeah,
way.
I changed my school 3 times. There were signs. Like I used to blame the schools or I'm meant for a better position, but the point was that I'm meant for more, not for a better position. And this year, like in April, I resigned, duh.
Yeah.
I resigned, but this time I didn't have the intention to pursue this job. And I love teaching, and don't get me wrong, all respect to all the teachers out there. It's not an easy job. I love teaching. I love kids. I know that I'm good at it too, but not in that setting. That I believe that I'm meant to teach, but maybe in different settings, something I choose what to do. Yeah.
No, that makes sense because that inner voice is very important.
Yeah.
And I think you, like you said, you were like, oh, maybe just it's the wrong place, it's the wrong this, until you realize it had to lead elsewhere. Don't you think, Abdullah?
Yeah, and honestly, there's something you and I share in that, because I also resigned 3 times.
Oh my
No way.
Yeah, from so many jobs. And a fourth one, I didn't get hired officially, but I also resigned from it. And I didn't spend a lot of time in them like you did. You spent 3 years in it. And so I think my question is, if you spend 3 years in it, you're much more accustomed to that. So getting out of it, it's much of a difficult job. And for me, I spent little time in it. So getting out, I didn't have attachment. So did you feel that, that major step when you were taking a different route? Did you feel you needed a lot of confidence? Did you feel the risk of it? Or how did your mindset be?
Although I've been only 3 years in that industry, but I used to identify myself as a teacher since I was a teenager. Like I used to teach my friends, and I was good at this. In university, I used to teach my colleagues too. So that was an identity that was rooted in me since I was in a very young age. So it wasn't an easy step, although I've been officially a teacher for 3 years. Like I needed so much trust in the unknown, and that I'm gonna figure it out even if I don't have a plan. That needs trust and courage. And I had a major identity crisis. I remember that was a hard time in September when school started, and I didn't start with them. I'm not a teacher. Literally, who am I if I'm not a teacher? So that was so much uncomfortable. I faced the discomfort, but trust me, guys, there's a lot of amazing things after that when you overcome the identity crisis and explore yourself more. Who am I if I'm not a teacher? And many more things.
I love that. So do you think you learned a lot about yourself after letting go of this familiar path?
I did during the path and during this discomfort and uncomfortable. I learned that I'm capable, that I learned that I deserve more and to know my worth. To know my worth and not to limit it to one position on world labor or for a raise or like for them to see my value. When I see my value, when I see my worth, when I see the things that I'm capable of, I can do wonders, I can do magic things. That's the thing that I learned about myself, how to believe in myself. And very good thing happen when you believe in yourself.
Yeah. And so, did you know what you wanted to do instead of teaching when you left that job, or was it something you discovered afterwards?
No, I didn't. I didn't. But there's an inner voice inside me telling me the good is yet to come. Trust yourself. Try new things. Um, Explore what you are good at. And because I know I'm good at many things, but because I was so overwhelmed at work, and you can know how overwhelming like teaching can be. I don't know if you can relate, but teaching, especially kindergarten, can be so overwhelming that you don't find time to explore yourself and to look inside you what you're capable of. So I didn't know, but I know that I'm gonna figure it out. That's what I know for sure. Like 100%, I'm gonna figure it out. And having a lot of time and free time gave me that privilege of sitting with myself, exploring myself, journaling a lot, asking myself every single day, who am I? Like, if I'm not a teacher, who am I? If I'm not a teacher. And this question helped me a lot to explore what I want to do. And one of the things was the like crochet, having a crochet business, because I'm good at this too. And step by step opportunities came to me. I didn't chase them, and that's very like a good part in it.
I think so. And I think it's so brave of you that you stopped teaching even though you didn't know which direction you were going to go in. I think a lot of people are afraid to take that risk. So I think you're inspiring them now, showing them that as long as you believe in yourself and believe that the good will happen, it will happen. Because I think so many people refuse to let go of a job or something if they don't have something lined up directly after. And as you said, you had many signs over the years that teaching was not the thing for you to do long term, but you just kept overlooking it. So I think listening to that inner voice is so important.
100%.
And so you decided to go with crochet because it was one of the things that you're good at. But what led you to decide to make crochet like a business for you?
I love that question a lot because it's a very nice story how they come up with that idea. Another fun fact, I had that idea when I was a teenager, maybe in grade 6, 7, like summertime, summer vacation. I have that like free time, and I came up with the idea I want to like sell my crochet pieces, but like school happened and you know, you don't get time. So somehow it was in me, but I needed to find the time to face it again. I remember one morning I was journaling and asking myself, what else is possible? What else is possible if not teaching? And I allowed the answers to come to me. Like, just sit and look what inspiration you get, and that's what was one of it. I started with like doing crochet pieces in general, but somehow I didn't see that aligned in a way. My energy wasn't so aligned with the like bookmarks, book sleeves, into books too. But then I asked myself again regarding that like crochet business, how can you express yourself through that business? And one of the things that I know I am is love. I am love. And I asked myself, how can I express love through my crochet business? And what an amazing way to express love if it wasn't for flowers. So I decided that the crochet business would be like a crochet made, flower crochet made, so people can express their love through this bouquet, and I can express my love too.
Yeah. Art is always a form of expression, right? Whether that be in crochet or artworks or painting, it's always you're pouring feelings into it. But I do want to ask you because crochet is a very niche kind of, you know, field. You know, not a lot of people participate in it. Not a lot of people know the hard work it takes
Yeah.
to make such an artwork. So how do you gain such a confidence to decide, oh, this is something I want to make a career out of it, instead of something you're just doing on your free time? Like, where did that, you know, risk reward energy came from?
Yeah, I love that question too. It started first with, again, self-belief. Before the idea like saw the light, or the business saw the light, it was self-belief and believing that even though my audience is very narrow, but I know when we are obsessed, we are obsessed. So like people are into crochet know that how does that take a lot of work, and they are obsessed and they value the work that you do. So honestly, I don't target everybody. I don't target normal people. I know the people that I'm targeting. I know the people who know the work that I've put in this piece, and I want to sell it to someone who appreciates it. And there are a lot of people who appreciate the work that you do. And there are, especially here, the crochet community is like a strong one and a big one. Maybe you're not familiar with it because maybe you're not into crochet, but I'm familiar with it. And not only that, who doesn't like love? Who doesn't appreciate love? Who doesn't want to like express love through flowers? Even though the crochet audience is narrow, the flowers audience is so big.
Yeah.
So combining these two, you can actually also widen your audience.
Honestly, that's an amazing idea. My sister-in-law actually does crochet, and she has a small crochet business herself, but she does more like creatures and animals and like plushie-based things, because that's her interests in life. Like, she's a gamer, she loves to read.
Love.
So these are like her kind of things, and she's very good at it. And it is actually such a complicated process. When I see her making it, I'm like, wow, I don't know if I could do that myself. It's so technical, but she loves it. So it's something, I guess, more easy when you love the thing. And that brings me to what you were saying about love. And like, you were like, I love love, and flowers equal love.
Yeah.
And as you said, the flower market is, everyone wants to buy flowers for their loved ones for all different occasions. So the fact that you chose flowers is actually such an amazing idea. And could you tell us more about why you chose flowers? Because as you think you said about them lasting forever, which I think is a beautiful concept.
Yeah. Jane, يعني, this also was a sign, because when I didn't felt aligned with the pieces that I made, flowers popped up everywhere, like popped up everywhere around me. And when I said myself and asked, how can I express myself? And I knew the answer was love. I saw flowers around me, and this is it. This is what I'm gonna do. And the reward of starting from scratch and see a very nice piece of like flower bouquet, that's to me personally is really rewarding. And people when they see it, it's like an investment. I'm investing in flowers, like literally I'm investing in flowers. Because also like a friend of mine got engaged, and I can see she received flowers every time when she like in the for the different occasions, but I saw her also throwing that flowers.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, like I saw that as an in vain. And me personally, I wasn't into the idea to buy flowers to throw them. And that was like the big inspiration for, with a lot of signs, to go for that.
Yeah, and also flowers and, like I said, love, it's a universal language, right?
it
It's
is.
not restricted to a culture, society, boundaries, whatever. Everyone can take it, everyone can, you know, do whatever they want with it. We are going to take a very quick break, and we'll come right back after this one.
And we're back from that short break. So Maryam, we were just discussing your love of crochet and how it became a business for you with the flowers and how love inspired your message. But I also know that you're a reader. So I want to ask you more about, how did reading become a hobby for you?
Well, reading started to be a hobby since I was a teenager too. Like if you see me in summer vacation, you're gonna see me doing crochet and reading. And actually, I found myself creating time to read, even if I don't have time. So it wasn't a hobby, it was something I longed for and I wanted to do. And it started to be like a part of my day when I started to work on myself. and like mentally and physically, and started to look for information. And what's better way of looking for information if it wasn't reading? So it started like I read many books in a year. Maybe we can say 5 years ago. Yeah.
MashaAllah. You know, I read, and this is unfortunately a symptom for our current modern times, that not a lot of people read, but I did read, you know, in an article that reading reduces risk of Alzheimer's, which is one of the most common, you know, forms of diseases for the elderly. So reading, besides the informational, you know, aspects of it, has a lot of health benefits
Yeah.
on it as well. I do want to ask you, do you lean into, you know, certain themes, certain books, certain narratives when you're reading, or do you go, you know, whatever you like, you read?
Sure, I do. It's nonfiction and self-help, self-growth, to understand yourself more, mindset shifts, and I believe many major decision I took, like resigning, was because of the book I reading. I blame the books.
MashaAllah.
Honestly, I'm with you because I'm actually a big reader myself. I love reading. It's probably my main hobby. Ever since I was a kid, I was always the kind of person who devoured books growing up. And as I got older, I kept that going. Then in adult life, I found myself reading less. So I made it a goal to try and read as many books as I can per year, just for fun, for myself. I tend to prefer fantasy and fiction books, but I do read some of the self-help ones sometimes as well. And books for me aren't just like a hobby or reading. It did change my life as well. I learned so much from them. So I want to ask you, is there any like lesson you might have learned from books that you apply to your real life or have shifted your perspective of your world or how you do business?
Wow, I really love this question.
Great.
Thank you for
Reader to
asking.
reader, you know?
Well, yes, high five.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it was from the book The Power of Now, and the lesson that I learned and it changed my life is that there's no problem without the mind. Like literally, there's no problem without the mind. It's how you see it. It's the perspective. If I'm late, is that a problem, or what can I do toward that? So that lesson changed my life, everything. Because if I thought, oh, I don't have a job, that's a problem, I would have stayed in a place that doesn't align with my values. But because I know that I'm gonna figure it out and there's no problem, as long as I decide to, that there's no problem, there would be no problem.
Yeah.
That's the big lesson that I learned, and it changed many things in my life.
Yeah, and honestly, it seems like, mashallah, you're able to pinpoint stuff from the books you're reading to influence your life. And I know a lot of people who read a lot of self-help books, they don't really have the, you know, capacity to know what they're doing wrong in their life to take the values from the book. So for you personally, how do you decide when you're reading a book that, oh, this is something that's going to affect my life, this is something I can take, this is something I can ignore? Like, how do you decide what's important within these books?
Yeah, mostly because I surround myself with like-minded people and passionate people in reading like me, and like mostly read the same genre that I read. They recommend books, so I took their recommendation, and they end up being like a very amazing and inspirational book. However, I remember like this time last year, I started a book, and I felt that in the first 100 pages that I took my lesson and it's not adding anything to me. So I felt like that to me that was a waste of time. And I reminded myself, there's no problem, Maryam, if you stop the book middle, like halfway there, if you took your lesson, that you feel that you took it. So I stopped it. Thank you so much. I learned my lesson. I bless you. And next. So how I feel that what's this book, even when reading, I don't feel like it's adding to me, it's okay to stop it and start something that would add many more.
I need to learn that from you because I'm the kind of person when I start a book, I feel like I have to finish it, even if I don't like it or if I feel like I'm struggling with it or it's not applying to my life. So I'll try to force my way through it, but it's more just, I think, torturing myself than actually learning. So I think I am trying to become the kind of person who could just stop a book, but so far it just sort of sits on my like pile of books that I'm reading, partly read, and eventually I get back to it and I'm like, I just want to finish you so I can move on to a book I actually want to read, you know? But it's a lesson I think I got to teach myself. But you mentioned like-minded people as well and stuff. And I heard that you also started a reading community. So could you tell me a bit more about that? Like, how did that start?
Yeah, it started in a very nice way, in a very nice way, because like while I used to work, I spent my free time reading, and um, like people in school saw me that one of the days, like students weren't there, they were on vacation, and we just like there um, arranging stuff for the next year. A teacher approached me and told me, she said, "You and I should start a reading club." I told her, yes, we can, let's go. And on the same day, another teacher like told me, you need to start a book club. I said, this is it. This is the sign. I'm starting a book club. However, when I thought of, I want to join a one. And when I saw there are already existing book clubs, which are amazing, but they're reading books that I'm not interested in. And honestly, I want to keep the habit going, not forcing or torturing myself
Yeah.
while reading the book that I love and I'm interested in. So I thought, why not? I keep reading the book I'm reading, and everybody else does the same. And come, let's gather and share with us the book you're reading. So it's double the benefit. We are not discussing one book, we are discussing 15 books. So imagine the benefit and the knowledge you are getting from that. And um, I always felt that I wanted to share the book that I'm reading with someone. I really believe that this life is meant to be shared, not to be like alone. And I love being around people who think like-minded and who are into reading. So I thought, you know what, Maryam? You can be the creator. Create your own space. And I created the space to be a safe space for everyone to share what they're reading, um, not to be judged, and to feel like they are around people who think the same and to have the same passion. And from this, it all started.
And so, how did those first steps feel like? Now you just started this club. You got to get new members. You got to pick the right first book because first impressions are so important. You got to, allocate the right space, allocate the right place, the right time. So, how did those first, few moments came? What was the pressure like? The responsibility of it weighted like?
Wow. Wow. I really love questions. I really love it. I really love it because it wasn't easy. Yeah, I feel now joy talking about it, but it wasn't easy. I felt like fear. I felt uncomfortable because I felt so seen. Like, I'm not a member joining that. I am the host. I felt so seen, and that was so uncomfortable. Like, I am responsible. People are coming to a space that I am creating, and if anything goes wrong, I am responsible. And maybe that would be the first time I felt responsible of something, not only me involved, but people who are coming and joining. Because like I used to work for someone, so I'm only doing my job, my part, and they are responsible for everything else. What if it's me from A to Z that I'm responsible? It wasn't easy. I felt so much fear, so much uncomfortable, but my excitement was higher than all of these feelings. It was higher, and it's self-belief. Like from the day I decided to have my reading community, I said this is gonna go viral. I had self-belief and believe in the idea itself. So that self-belief kept me going through all of it. What if success is guaranteed? What if is everything you picture the circle is guaranteed? What you're gonna do today, Maryam? Are you gonna surrender to that fear? Or are you gonna follow your inner voice and be courageous enough to do something that's so aligned with you? And bingo.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Maryam, that's amazing. And the fact that you have this belief and that you took the initiative yourself to just start this book community, do your businesses elsewhere, just that fact that you chose to do it. And like you said, perspective plays a big role, as you learned from your books. So I think you were just choosing it. And because you chose it, alhamdulillah, everything worked out in the right way.
Yeah.
And do you feel that with your book community, that the people there are craving more of like a reflective space where they can meet and talk about books? Because everything seems to be online these days.
Yeah.
So you think it makes a difference when people meet and gather and talk about these things in real life?
Yeah, it makes a huge difference, honestly, to me personally and to people, because you cannot imagine, the connection that happens in the circle. I saw people coming not for books, but for the connection and for people. I was mind blown. Like, I had many, like, people telling me, like, I made the time to come. I just came from my training session just to show up and to be with you guys.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people right now, they're trying to find common interests with a lot of people. And so they find what's, between them. And so when they find a space that they can share it, it's much more of a personal connection than whatever online thing can replicate. With that being said, I do want to thank you for being our guest today, Maryam. You've been insanely entertaining to talk to, very informative, and very, encouraging with the risks you've taken in your life.
Thank you so much, Abdullah and Lujane.
No, thank you, for real. I think you've inspired a lot of people watching to maybe quit their jobs if it's not what feels right, and to follow their own voice, their own gut, and just believe that the right things will happen and the right people will find you. And you're literally an inspiration to everyone who has these kind of feelings.
Thank you
So
much.
thank you for what you're doing, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, and I hope this inspire people who want to take the first step. I just want to say I believe in you too. You can do that, and you're gonna figure it out.
Thank you. I do believe that's a great message to end the conversation on, is that to believe in yourself. With that, we're going to take a very quick break. We'll come right back after this one.
And we're back from that break. And honestly, I think we had a wonderful time talking to Maryam. She was so inspirational with everything she said.
Yeah, honestly, she was very informative. I loved how she highlighted how self-help books, influence her life so much, right? Because we hear a lot of people who refuse to get out of their comfort zones, but they just need that spark of, confidence, that spark of risk. And mashallah, she took that spark from the books and then she applied it to her life.
I agree. And even you mentioned how most people might read something but not apply it to their actual life.
Yeah.
She did apply it, and not only did she apply it, she has such belief and confidence in herself that is so refreshing to see, because not everyone has that kind of unshakable faith and belief that things will work out. But she took the risk, she listened to her inner voice, and now, alhamdulillah, everything's working out for her.
Alhamdulillah. And I love how she took the selfless, road of trying to educate other people, right? She not only applied it to herself, but she established this book club, and then she was going making arrangements for a lot of people to come and be enlightened, be informed. So I think that's very admirable.
I agree, and I think it's wonderful that she found a place for people to be able to read, to gather, to inspire each other as well. And even her business of the crocheting with the flowers, the idea that the flowers will last forever, I thought that was a very nice touch.
It was a very nice touch. Very well said, Lujane. With that in mind, that's the end of tonight's episode of The Untold. Until the next one, goodbye for now.
Goodbye, and see you next time.